Welcome, I'm Philip Keverin, and today's masterclass is on piano calm. Piano calm started out as an idea based on something that I've been enjoying for many, many decades, and that is, you've done this. There's a thunderstorm outside, and you go sit at the piano, and you just enjoy the ambient sound of that thunderstorm, and you make sound on the piano, and you luxuriate in the sound of the pedal and just listen to it in the room. And the music is relaxed, and I think we've all done that at our piano. And I wanted to make a recording and call it Piano Calm, and it would be literally a whole album of music that just floats in a way that is calming, and yet there is composition involved in the pieces. I didn't want to improvise. I wanted to write pieces that captured that feeling, but that if you studied the piece, there was actually something there. There was a motive, there was development, there was compositional content. And so, and I haven't done this in a long time really, with this particular recording, I thought of it as a book right from the start. I'm going to have a collection that one could sit down and play these and recreate the recording. And so I wrote the scores, then did the recording, and then published the book. And I'd like to share some of these compositions with you today and tell you what I was kind of thinking about as I wrote them. And if you're a composer, this might be helpful to you. If you're a teacher, you may find a piece worthy of teaching. If you're a student and you're learning this music, this might help you to know how to interpret it. And the thing that is nice about this particular project, Piano Calm, is that it is available on any of the streaming services. So if I search Piano Calm, I probably will see it come up here. There it is, Piano Calm. And you can listen to my particular performance of each piece. And let me tell you that my performance of it is not the Bible. It is how I perceived that interpretation on the day that I recorded it. And when I show you these things on the piano, I may play them slightly differently, but it gives you a sense of where the piece should sit. And I think it'll be helpful if you reference the recording. So we're going to move from my workstation here, move over to the grand piano, and we'll take a deeper look into some of these compositions. All right. My compositional process for Piano Calm began with a piece that I'm calling Hush, and it is the most improvised, I would say. It feels a bit improvised. And it is literally allowing sound to just ring. Open fifths. When you play a piece like this, you really have to just let it open as slowly as you possibly can. It's real easy to just blow through this piece. It's only one page long. But this is really celebrating the beauty of the piano and the sound you can make at the piano. Take your time with it. Alpine Meadow is a piece that has a bit more of a minimalist approach, short little motifs that are repeated, and it has a metronome marking of 70 beats per minute. So it's a good idea to check your metronome and see what the basic tempo was before you launch into this. But honestly, this piece could be played a little faster, a little slower. That's not that important. What is important is whatever piece of tempo you start in, keep it constant. That's just a little chime that needs to be insistent. Now listen how the left hand becomes a little more, little bit of movement there. That's the only change. That whole section is the same except for the accompaniment change. Now, a lyrical melody and a flowing left hand. You notice how that left hand is switching between pitches? I wouldn't want you to do this. You don't want to bring it out in that much relief, but knowing that it is moving, you give it just a little bit of emphasis. This piece is a good example of a short motif that carries through pretty much a whole composition. By the Pond is a piece in the key of G flat major, and there's something about this key that is very calming to me. Again, this is very, very serene music. Don't let the tempo get too fast. An interesting thing about By the Pond is if I look at it and think, it's in G flat, but I'm going to pretend it's in G major and just read it as though it's in G major. You can play a lot of the piece in that key because there are very few accidentals, and it's an interesting transposition, and you can hear how it changes the tone of it. I mean, listen to how this feels. It feels like there's a veil over that sound by just 1/2 step. Isn't that interesting? That feels happier, it feels brighter. It feels like I'm by a pond that is surrounded by green forest as opposed to a pond that's sitting in winter cold with ice. Completely different feeling. Peaceful Stream is one of the few compositions in this book that should be played in a very steady tempo. Most of these can be rubato and really are most interesting in a more free style. But Peaceful Stream is very steady. Now that tempo could be brighter. Still, the result is a peaceful, meditative kind of piece. A closing comment on this Piano Calm episode. Piano Calm was the first collection that we recorded and then published. There is now a Piano Calm Christmas and a Piano Calm Prayer. Both of those are available as a recording, and print publication will be following on its heels. Depending on when you're watching this episode, they may already be out there in the world. But I thought I would show you a couple of examples. Piano Calm Christmas is taking the same concept of very peaceful, serene types of settings. Here's Away in a Manger. Again, using the pedal to our advantage to let the sound ring and mingle in the room. And then Piano Calm Prayer will be that kind of treatment to traditional hymn tunes, things like Great is Thy Faithfulness. Letting that low tone ring over with the pedal. I had to use a lot of restraint in these arrangements. Not a lot of motion, very few notes in each chord, but selected those notes carefully. And you'll find when you play them that you're going to need to use the same kind of restraint. Don't let the tempo get too out of control. Be patient and let that arrangement just simmer and fill the room with quiet, serene tone. Thank you for stopping by. I really enjoyed showing you Piano Calm. I really enjoyed writing this book and recording the songs as well. I hope that you'll play them or listen to them and enjoy them, and maybe try your hand at writing some arrangements of your own that capture this kind of serene spirit.